Sound speeds. And if you're in the market for a discount microphone for anything from gaming to public address, then you might want to pay close attention to this review, because in this video I'm going to be reviewing the Fifine Technology K6 and K8 microphones. Both of them can be acquired for less than $30, and believe it or not, you're getting a pretty good package for that money. Now, as we get going here, let me point out one thing. Fifine Technology is indeed a Chinese company, but they don't seem to be doing things like many other Chinese companies. For example, if you look at this product, which I happen to review up there, then you will notice that the box is unbranded in every way. There is no sense of pride for this brand, and you don't even know what brand it is if they didn't happen to put this little sticker on top. In contrast, the Fifine Technology box looks similar and has the same sticker, but the box itself is branded. And better than that, it even has the website on the side and an email address should you want to reach out or maybe look up the company before you buy. If a box without pretty pictures on it is a turnoff, then you don't need to watch this video any farther. But if you're interested in what's on the inside of these boxes, well, I don't do unboxing videos, but I will show you what's on the inside. The Fifine K6 microphone box comes surprisingly with the K6 microphone on the inside. Shocker there, right? It also comes with an XLR female 2/4 inch or 6.35 millimeter cable that is 14.8 feet, or rather 4.5 meters long. And it comes with a surprisingly not useless user guide. The user manual is short but sweet and contains everything you need to get going. It contains features, product specifications, which I'll put over there, basic uses for the microphone, an introduction to the cabling and the microphone itself, and if you have any additional questions, it provides you with a link to operational videos, which I checked out, and believe it or not, they're actually not bad. Inside the K8 box, you'll find a branded carrying pouch, the K8 microphone itself, a slightly better built cable that is the same exact configuration as the one on the K6, but is 19 feet long. You'll find a pop screen that would go over the end of the microphone itself, and again, a not so useless user manual. The user manual is laid out very similarly to the one on the K6. Features, specifications, potential uses, introduction to features, and just like on the Fifine K6 microphone, it has a custom URL specifically for that microphone containing operational videos. The cable that comes with the K6 is not at all impressive to me. It's even lopsided on both sides. As I spin this around, you'll see it kind of wonkily spinning around. And this imitation switchcraft connector, it's even bent at the very, very top right here. And it's making a nice little jingle noise when you shake it. Now, the cable is a little flimsier than the one on the K8, and in all honesty, it's a cheap cable, but it works. Underneath the windscreen, you'll find something that looks very similar to that of the Shure Beta 58A, but I don't think it's going to sound identical. And one thing that, to be completely honest with me, does not impress me, the grill is a very snug fit on the inside. One thing I do find funny, though, I don't know if you can see it or not, but there is a loose thread on the inside, and this thread happens to be the same red color that is this wire. This is actually a wire that was not completely cut off of the microphone, and if I were to pull it, it's going to start unraveling the inside of the microphone. The K8 microphone has a very similar switch and XLR connector. You can squeeze this microphone. It has the same kind of rugged durability that the K6 had, but it's heavier, which indicates to me that the casing is thicker and more heavy duty, which is cool. Along with the fact that it is a much cooler looking mic and even includes a rubber ring around there so that if you lay the microphone down on a table, it's not going to have a metallic sound hitting the table. The cable that comes with the K8 feels much beefier than the one that comes with the K6. I mean, you can even see it, right? Not only that, the XLR connector feels more solid, and the 1/4 inch 6.35 millimeter is a branded, even though it's a Chinese brand, connector. And I don't know if it's one of quality or not, but it does not have any kind of weird wonkiness to it and no bend. The pop screen? Well, it's thin foam, sponge. I mean, there's nothing unique, groundbreaking, or worth writing home about. It even came on the microphone, so you know it fits. But there is, if you notice, a few dents in it because it was laying against the cable when I got it. So I'm still waiting for it to kind of fill itself back out, and hopefully it will over time. The carrying pouch is drawstring, and it does have a cheapish kind of leathery feel to it, but when you look at it on the inside, the stitches are actually pretty good. I don't know what kind of review this would be if I did not talk into the microphone I'm reviewing, so I'm going to start with the K6. K6. If you notice, I'm speaking directly at you while the microphone itself is about a 30 to 45 degree angle off axis to my mouth, but still pointed straight back at my mouth. That's going to reduce the amount of plosives that I'm using when I talk into this microphone. But if you want to hear it full, straight into the microphone, this is the way it would sound. And the plosives that you're hearing right now are completely unedited. This is unprocessed in every possible way. Now, the gain that I have it set to is actually 6 dB under what the sensitivity has it ranked at, which is 50.6. And the reason I'm doing that is because when I tested this at 44 decibels of gain, or rather 45 decibels of gain, which is what my current setting is. That is where I found that I was peaking at negative 12 dB, and that's about what you would want to be at the very maximum. And so that's what the current settings are that I'm recording on. And hopefully I've given you enough of an opportunity to hear how this microphone sounds, and that's just talking into a kind of regular. I am going to speak more directly into it now, as if you were doing some sort of a public address and it was right in front of you. But this is not really the way you'd want to use this microphone. If I were you, I would probably more along the lines of do this number if you were doing any kind of DJing or something like that. Maybe even off axis like this. In all honesty, this is the way I would use this microphone. Now, I do want to share with you one thing. Listen to the amount of handling noise as I move this microphone around in my hands. Because the microphone is made of very thin metal, and because the sensitivity of dynamic microphones is so low, any little bitty bits of noise that my hand happens to make with the outer shell casing on the microphone itself is going to be amplified. And in this case, it's amplified quite a bit. But the microphone itself is not bad as long as you have proper mic hand holding technique, which is what I'm currently doing. So that's the reason why you're not hearing any handling noise at all. But you'll want to make sure that you do not move your hand or slide it at all. And, of course, this is the way you would want to probably use it, not talking directly into it. And even then, I'm still popping it a bit because I'm not rolling off any frequencies. Starting right now, I'm doing an 80 hertz roll-off in post. And that way you can get an idea of how it would be if you did apply some sort of roll-off. I'm not adding anything different on the microphone itself. I'm just simply doing it in post and removing anything below 80 hertz at, let's say, a second order roll-off, just to at least see how it works out. So what do you think of it? If you noticed in the microphone specifications, there is no frequency response chart with this microphone. I don't know why, but they just did not see a need to actually test it. And at the time of this review, I did not find any online of anyone doing any kind of independent testing of it. And I'm not going to either. I'm going to just rely on the amount of speaking that I'm doing and your ears to give an impression of how this thing sounds. Now, one thing I will point out about the Fifine microphones, and that is that the off-axis rejection of these microphones is extremely good. As a matter of fact, if I point it just slightly off-axis to my mouth, you're going to notice that I sound like I'm at the other side of the room. And that's just me going from here to here, this far away, 3 inches in front of my mouth, sounds that far away. And now it's back on my mouth. Now I'm going to do the exact same thing this time, but this time going outwards. It's not pointed that far off mic at all, but it makes it sound like I'm very far away. But nothing gives the impression better of if I'm using something like fan noise on my computer to give you an idea of how well it does reject against that. Now let me show you a few things about the Fifine K6, this microphone right here. First of all, it's a dynamic microphone, which means it's better at rejecting out background noises than would a condenser microphone. But this microphone is actually better at rejecting background noises than most. And the reason I can say that is because currently my computer fans are blasting. I have 6 fans on my computer, and every one of them is at 100%. It is currently raging in this in this room right now. And not only that, the ceiling fan's on. I have an air purifier on. The room is really, really noisy, but you can't hear it very well. Let me go quiet for a second and see if you can notice. And no, I'm not processing this audio in any way. Now, the microphone also has an on-off switch, and so it's important to know what that sounds like. If you turn it off and then back on, you don't want it to pop too loud in case you use that on-off switch and you're doing any kind of public address. Now I'm speaking into the K8 microphone, and just like with the K6, there are no switches on the microphone controlling things like a 10 dB pad or a roll-off. No, this microphone is just that. It is a microphone, but it does have an on-off switch. So if you're really wanting a switch, It's on there. If you look at the specifications of the K8 microphone versus the K6, you'll notice a few things. It is a little bit less sensitive, for one. Plus, it has a little bit more scoop out in the mids than the K6 does. But then you have no idea what the frequency response of the K6 is because it's not listed. But going by ear, it sounds a little bit flatter, if not more boosted in the lower end. And that might also be part of the reason why you hear handling noise a little bit more. And on that note, why don't we listen to the handling noise on the K8? Obviously, you're going to want to hand-hold the K8 microphone and not let your hands do the walking. I mean, what's really the point of doing that anyway? Just hold the microphone, don't move your hand, and speak into it. That's the way you're supposed to. But another really cool thing about the K8 microphone is, like the K6, the off-axis rejection is stellar. As a matter of fact, let me give you a demonstration of that. I go slightly off-axis yet again, and it drops off when I'm only like this far away from the microphone. This is me talking into it slightly off axis. My voice is still going in front of this microphone. But now I'm going to pass back through this point and go to the outside of my mouth. And my voice is still the same exact volume as it was before, but now I'm speaking into it while the microphone is pointed more at my ear. So it is extremely directional, and you're going to want to make sure it is on mic to your mouth in order to maximize its clarity and efficiency, in all honesty. This is the Fifine Microphones K6 now, and we're testing the off-axis rejection, but currently it is directly on-axis. So I'm going to spin around, and so that way it's facing directly off-axis, and we'll see how it sounds now. This is the Fifine Microphones K8, and again, this is an off-axis rejection test. Currently on-axis, but now it is completely off-axis. How does my voice turn out? You tell me. Unlike the K6, the K8 comes with a pop screen that is currently on the microphone right now. And I'm going to speak directly into the microphone so you can hear how it deals with the plosives. Plosives have been reduced ever so slightly, but in all honesty, it's still not that effective. The P sound is still knocking it out of the park. And the B sounds are still there, but it is a little bit, I guess, reduced. I mean, it's supposed to be, right? In comparison, let me remove it. This is the way it sounds directly on mic. And if I were to say some B sounds and some P sounds, you're going to see, like, if I'm a boy and I'm playing ball, you'll hear how that sounds right there. And I haven't really taken it any farther away from my mouth, but I would like to point out that if I am speaking into this microphone point blank, it's going to have a lot more plosives than something like maybe an SM58 would, but not so much more that it really makes it a game changer. Now I'm speaking directly into the Shure SM58 microphone for comparison, and this will give you an idea of the tonal quality, how it deals with plosives, that kind of thing. Remember that I'm a boy and I'm playing with microphones for this review. If you notice, the plosives on the 58 are a little bit less abrasive than they are on the Fifine microphones, and that's because there's a little bit more wind around on the inside of the grill than there are on the Fifine microphones. But in all honesty, it's not really enough to make a fuss over. Here's a note that's very important if you're going to be using the Fifine microphones. If you're using an XLR female to XLR male connector, you might not get the desired performance. And if you use it with the phantom power on because you forgot to turn it off, you might also not be receiving the optimal performance out of the microphone. That right there is going to be present if you use an XLR to XLR cable. And unfortunately, if you open out all the pins like I've done right now, and you connect up the common grounds with the pin 1, which is the ground, it doesn't affect it. Listen. The buzz is still there. However, I do want to point out that the cable it is included with is a tip sleeve, which means it's only pins 1 and pins 2. So pin 3 actually needs to go in and become one with the ground. And listen to what happens when you connect up those two. The buzz goes away, and suddenly this becomes a very quiet microphone. So if you're going to use this with an XLR to XLR, you might get some sort of a cable that you tie together pins 1 and pins 3. Add a little jumper on there if you will, because if you don't, you're going to have a buzz. But for right now, I want to share with you one more thing regarding this microphone. If you engage phantom power, like I just did, your voice does not sound good on it anymore, so be very careful about using it with phantom power. You're going to sound like you are in a tin box. So I'm going to disable phantom power. And suddenly my voice comes back to its fullness. Because this is a dynamic microphone, it doesn't require phantom power, and don't use it because it's going to sound bad. Before I give you my opinion of these microphones, let me give you a full disclosure. Fifine Technology did make these microphones both available to me for purposes of the review, and they reserve the right to ask for them back after this review and not let me keep them for free, or they might let me, I don't know at this time. But there you go. My opinion on the K6, it has more low end than the K8 does, and that allows you to back off a little bit more and make it sound more natural without all those plosives. If I were to put this inside of a shock mount or something like that and use it for gaming, let's say, it's going to probably reject out a whole bunch more of the background noise that you would expect to hear if you use something like a condenser microphone. The K6 does not sound bad at all. As a matter of fact, I don't think it sounds overly boosted in the highs. I don't think it kills the lows when you back off a bit. And I think overall it's a very pleasant sound, especially for the price point. But for only $8 more, you could get yourself the K8 microphone. It comes with a carrying pouch. It comes with a pop filter that reduces plosives and curbs the highs just a little bit. It comes with a better made cable that's 5 feet longer. And of course, it looks like a much cooler microphone and includes that little rubber ring to help reduce with noise when you put down the microphone. But it still has the same handling noise that you have if you don't use proper handling technique. But it is reduced just a little bit. As for the sound quality, it does have more highs than the K6 does. In my opinion, the K6 is a much flatter microphone than this, and the K8 is a little bit scooped in the mids. My mids are not quite as where I'd like them to be for my particular voice. But my voice is not typical for a male's voice, and if I back off on the microphone just a little bit more like I did with the K6, you'll notice that my voice starts to lack a little bit of low end. The K6 pulled it out because of that low end boost, and it does basically a better job overall of being a flat microphone. The K8, in my opinion, is a little bit lacking if you're going to be off the mic this far. Like, this is probably a good 6 to 8 inches off the mic. But if I bring it close and I speak directly into it, you'll notice that the proximity effect is actually not bad on this microphone. It does not overpower and kill my voice as much as it could. Now, remember, these microphones are very good at off-axis rejection, so just a little bit of distance off the microphone can really help you dial in on the ideal level that you would like your voice to be at and how your voice would sound. When it's all said and done, though, I think that the K6 and K8 microphones both sound very good, and although they're different and come with different things, I think they're definitely two microphones that you need to consider, especially under the $30 price point. I would like to point out one more thing. About 20 minutes into my testing of the K8 microphone, it stopped working the way it should. And I did make a quick video and I sent it to Fifine Technology because it's kind of difficult sometimes to explain the way something sounds, and allowed them to listen for themselves. Within 12 hours, my email was received and forwarded to engineers who watched the video and determined that it was a technical flaw and a fluke is what they called it. Now, they did take full ownership of this issue and said, "We sincerely apologize. We hope we didn't set you back in any way, and we will send you a replacement for free. Tell us your address." They took full ownership of it and responded in record time. And they also said this is not a typical issue that happens with these microphones. And I'll be honest with you, I'm tending to agree with that, and here's why. Typically, you get about a 1-year warranty with Chinese-made microphones, but Fifine Technologies offers a 2-year warranty if you simply register on their website. That's something that is very quick and easy to do, and they make it that way so that way they can support you like that. I did write Fifine Technologies support one more time, and that was to request a digital copy of both the K6 and K8 user manuals because they're not on their website. Within 5 hours, Fifine had written me back with exactly what I asked for, PDFs of both, and they did not waste any time. They wrote a very short and sweet email, said, "If you have any other questions or concerns, please let us know. That's what we're here for." I was quite impressed by that. Even the biggest companies that I've dealt with don't have a turnaround time for email that quickly. So there you have it, the K6 and the K8 microphone by Fifine Technology. There are links down in the description if you'd like to check it out or buy one for yourself on Amazon. But in the meantime, thank you for watching this review, and be sure to tune in the future for more episodes of Sound Speeds, for more reviews and sound advice. Have a question you'd like answered or want to add something? Be sure to write it in the comment section down below. You can also make a suggestion for future topics of discussion. Again, comment section down below, or you can email me at soundspeeds@yahoo.com. Be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you won't miss out on future sound advice.
Frost, and today I'm here to review the Fifine Technologies K6 dynamic microphone. Now this is a budget microphone, currently retailing at $17.99 on Amazon. But what it's supposed to be good for is, somebody who's looking for a budget microphone that is going to offer similar recording quality to something that costs, maybe up to $100-$200 more even. So what I'm going to do today is just kind of go over my overall review of this microphone, just what I found in my recording tests that I did with it. I'm going to go over the frequency response of it, and take a look at some frequency monitoring diagrams there, just to see if it's actually capturing the response range that it's saying it does, which would be somewhere in the 50 to 18,000 hertz range, which I can tell you right off the bat, it does seem to do that, but I'll get to that later in the video. We'll go over the visuals there. But yeah, just to give you a general idea of the microphone here. Now, as I said, it's a dynamic microphone, so it's going to be good for recording a lot of different types of sound, whether it be vocals for, recording music, so, singing vocals. Maybe you're just using the microphone as sort of something to use at a function, like you're connecting it to a PA system. It does a good job of projecting the voice through the PA system there, this particular microphone. Go more into detail on that later. And you can also capture instruments with this as well, like guitar, percussion instruments, things like that, amplifiers. One of the industry standard mics that I often see in studios is the Shure SM57, which is also a dynamic microphone. This one's going to be similarly built here, and from what I'm seeing, it's similar in its ability to capture sound accurately as well. So let's go into it here. So this is what you get here. You get the box, of course. Comes with the 14.8 foot XLR to 1/4 inch cable. So basically on one end you'll have the 3-pin XLR cable here. So that's going to plug into the bottom of your microphone. Then you'll have the 1/4 inch cable on the other end, and that's going to plug into your interface, your PA system, karaoke machine, mixer, whatever it may be, amplifier of some sort. This microphone doesn't require any phantom power, so it's going to derive the power directly from the source it's plugged into. Doesn't need any sort of batteries or external power supply or anything like that. Yeah, so you get the microphone itself, which it's not a bad microphone as far as the housing and the overall build quality. Seems pretty sturdy. The mesh grill on top here protecting the foam pop filter that goes over the whole housing is pretty sturdy. It doesn't seem like it's, you know, bending inward or anything when I'm pushing on it with some force. The microphone, as far as external controls, all it has is the on-off switch, which you know, you typically don't really need many external controls on a dynamic microphone of this type. And then, yeah, other than that, you just get the documentation. So you got the microphone itself, the 14.8 foot cable, and the user's guide here, as well as a card that gives you their social media links, their, you know, support links as well if you need to contact them with any questions or issues with the microphone that you may have. From what I've seen, they're pretty good about getting back to people in a timely manner. So they definitely have, you know, active representative base to deal with any issues you might have. So that's what you get with the package there. Yeah, so what I want to do real quick is just go through a few comparisons. So I'm going to transfer you over to my screen here so you can see what's going on as I talk through that and describe what you're seeing on screen. Basically, just going to do some sample audio captures, and we'll take a look at the spectrogram, see where the frequencies are hitting the highs and lows and such. I'll record a couple different sources, vocals, guitar, acoustic guitar, and maybe some percussion as well. And then I'm also going to test it against my other microphone, which is about maybe a couple $100 more than this one in actual price. We'll see how the frequency ranges and the overall recording quality sound. So stay tuned for that. Let's get to the next part of the video here. Alright, so here I am inside of my digital audio workstation, or DAW as it's known, just to take a look at some of the frequency ranges that the Fifine Technologies K6 microphone is picking up here. So as you can see down at the bottom of the graph, we have 20 hertz, so it is definitely picking up the 20 hertz range, which it said, you know, 50 hertz to 18,000 hertz, so that's up in here. Yeah, so it's definitely picking up the bottom end that it promised. This is a pretty typical looking curve for a dynamic microphone like this. And it is definitely picking up in the 18,000 hertz range here, peaking right about here. If I do like a you can definitely see it is picking up even 20,000 hertz if you need that upper response range. So that looks good there. Just as an example, I'll pull up my other microphone. We'll pull up the graph for that. Now I'm talking into my other microphone, which is a $200 difference, roughly, maybe more. As you can see, it is picking up pretty much the same overall curve here, down in the low end, going up here, and then, kind of leveling off up in this range. Yeah, so curve is looking good. Now, let's see. So we can also take a look at recording some other instruments here. So for an example, I'm going to go grab my acoustic guitar real quick. And I'm just going to play a little bit of this into the mic, see how it sounds. So there's a little test of guitar there, just to see what it sounds like. And yeah, here I have a cajon. It's a percussion instrument. Yeah, I was just kind of beating on that there. No professional cajon player or anything. That's just to give you an idea. What else? So, yeah, as you can see, it's pretty good at picking up a clean signal for various types of instruments here. Being a dynamic microphone, that's kind of the purpose of it. So, overall, yeah, I think this is a very good microphone to pick up for, somebody who's doing, as I said, home recording, just kind of looking to maybe start up into that venture without spending a ton of money. I think that's probably going to be the best sort of application for it. All right, well, hope you got some useful information out of this review of the Fifine K6 dynamic microphone. Hope you enjoy this product as well, if you do choose to pick it up, and have a great rest of your day.
A little bit, and she confirmed it handles well. It has an on and off button, which she pointed out is actually quite useful. I wouldn't necessarily know about that, but she pointed out that this comes in very, very handy. So it looks like a sturdy build, and we're going to test it in a moment. Alongside the microphone, you obviously get a cable. And that cable, it might be a little bit confusing because the length of the cable is indicated on the box as, I saw a label somewhere, give me a moment. Oh yeah, right here. I don't know if you can see it, let me come a little closer, 8 foot. It's actually longer than that. It's 14.8 foot long, and maybe, I don't know, maybe the 14 dropped off here and it should have read 14.8 feet in total length. So pretty long. Also, again, I'm not an expert on cables and wires, but I don't know, having used a bunch of these over the years, primarily guitar cables, it is flexible yet very sturdy. So it's, again, handling is easy. So you do have obviously I believe they're called XLR plug, and here on the other side a regular 1/4 inch plug. This one connects to the microphone, obviously, like this. And that one you put into your karaoke box or any speaker device of your choice. For the purposes of this demonstration, I'll be using my Focusrite interface. And unfortunately, it doesn't have the appropriate input. So what I will have to do is I can't use this cable that comes with the device. But for demonstration purposes, let me just get it here real quickly. We'll be using just a regular microphone cable. And then lastly, what also comes in the box is a manual, pretty straightforward, and a little card with general information about Fifine technology. Okay, so now we have the K6 karaoke microphone in a one-on-one situation with the condenser microphone that I usually use. And again, this is a completely different price category compared to the microphone that we're testing today, the K6 by Fifine Technology. I want to make sure I get that right. So as I'm talking right now, I'm recording the audio through both microphones independently at the same time, but independently as separate tracks. And alongside the video here, I will indicate which one of the microphones is activated, or the one you hear at any given moment. And that should give you a pretty good idea of how the microphone sounds and how it compares to a much more expensive microphone. So let me just now start playing a little bit. I keep it very simple, just a couple of open chords. I'm gonna play the same thing 4 times. And I'm going to switch back between the microphones and always let you know which microphone track you're actually hearing right now, okay? I hope that makes sense. So here we go. All right, so the microphone is turned on, and you see I still have my condenser microphone right here up and running as I simultaneously speak now into the karaoke microphone and hold it really close to my mouth, because that's really how you're supposed to use the microphone. What I just showed you with the guitar was suboptimal, clearly, because I just can't move the microphone close enough to the sound hole for it not to interfere with my playing hand. I still nonetheless believe I was able to give you a pretty good idea on what the microphone sounds like, the quality, and yeah, hopefully it was meaningful. I want to do one more quick thing, and that is put this microphone or use this microphone to mic my amp, my small orange amp. I'll play a little bit of electric guitar just to give you an idea of how that could sound. All right, just real briefly, I put the microphone really close to my small orange amp. Gonna play a couple of chords just to give you an idea. So guys, that's it. Again, we're talking about the K6 from Fifine Technology, available on Amazon. under $20. So if it's for you or not, I don't know. And I realize this review was not optimal because I'm not a singer and I don't have a karaoke machine, but I do hope that my little bit of guitar playing and speaking into the mic directly will give you an idea of what you can do with it, and then you can decide if it's for you or not. I want to add one more point, and I feel that's important. In going back and forth with the maker of this mic, Fifine Technology, I think they're out of Asia, I believe China, but I could be wrong. They communicate really well and they're really nice people. So that usually tells me something about the company and their products, and that just makes me more comfortable in dealing with them. So I was really impressed, and I was impressed in that regard because you don't see it that often. So again, if it's for you, it's something to check out. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment box. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.
Okay, I'm going to be doing a product review for the Fifine Technologies microphone. This is a plug-in 1/4-inch microphone. Suitable, I would say, something for like karaoke, or if you're plugging direct into, like, say, like your phone or like an iPod thing. You just want to do some basic recordings and stuff. We're going to just do an open box here review. Like I said, nice straightforward box that it comes in with the logo. Let's open it up, take a look here. All right, get this out of the way. Just a nice product card. We know their social media stuff in there. Basic stuff like, thank you for purchasing, kind of a thing. Okay. Basic instructions. I really can't. Let's turn that around. The K6 user guide, as you can see here, is plug in. It comes with a cable too. Let's see. Here, the basic user instructions. I mean, plug it in pretty much. Just gives you, all the different things, what comes with it. You get a 2-year extended warranty, right? Stuff, social media. Again, basic instructions. Could be an idiot, not know how to use this. Like that. See, like this, like a karaoke machine mic. Volume up, things like that. Features, specs. And we go through the specs here. As you can see, it is a dynamic. Sensitivity is 50 to 18K. 50 doesn't have the lowest bass frequency response there, which usually go down. Human hearing is 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz. So, it's 50 hertz. It doesn't pick up super subs, but you don't really want that in a vocal mic anyway. But it's got some pretty nice high response there. It's unidirectional, which means it picks up from pretty much everywhere. The operating temperature in Celsius there, suspension type, the weight 210 grams, cable length is 14 feet, 4.5 meters. It's a pretty long cable. All right, pretty good. Right there. Here is the cable. As you can see, yeah, it's a long cable. Pretty long cable there. 1/4 inch on one side. XLR female on the other. 14 feet. It's pretty good. Nice and long. Now let's take a look at the microphone. This is a pretty good box that it comes in. You can keep it in this box. Nice styrofoam cut box there. Here's the mic itself. The mic has an on-off switch, as you can see there. I would like that to be a little more of a click. It's a slide. You can feel the detent in there when you click it into place, but this should be a little bit harder to click off and on. Like if I get it there while I'm handling it, I don't want it to suddenly slip and go off on me. So that should be a little bit of a harder click into the on position, so you don't accidentally turn it off while you're just kind of handling it. But it does have a really nice, has a nice weight to it, similar to an SM58. Probably a little bit lighter than that, but it's not a really light mic. This is metal. The cap itself, the mesh screen is metal. I said it's got a nice weight to it, similar, probably a little bit lighter than have more of a weight of like an SM57 probably, but it's not a light microphone, not cheap anyway. Let's see if we can get the screen off and look at the capsule here. Got a pretty long screw there. Okay, nice clean, yeah, it's in there, really good. And there's your capsule. Pretty good construction. I'm not going to take the capsule out, but this is nice and solid. But here you can see here's the magnet and stuff in there. So, not a cheap design, there's your wires, but this is not a cheap design. That's the screw there that when you want to get in here and mess with that stuff, but you don't have to do this. But yeah, you can see though it's not shoddily made. Nice and neat wiring. The cap in there is really nice, as you can see. Nicely uniform, good construction. Like I said, it's neatly done. You don't see stuff hanging out and all that. Nothing looks like crap. There's foam here as well. Let's put this back on. Really nice long screw cap on. It's got nice nice weight to it and stuff. I'll do a mic test with this in studio, so you see how it sounds coming out of a PA. We'll see how the bass response is in a roll-off. But this is just a nice overall look at the microphone itself. The next video will be me testing out the actual sound of the microphone. But a nice solid karaoke mic, not cheap at all. Okay, now we're going to do a field test. We're going to take the microphone out of the box, and we're going to plug it into a PA system with everything relatively flat, and we're going to see how this sounds out of a PA with a relatively flat response. So we're going to hook it into a nice Mackie here, out of some nice Yamaha 15s, and we're going to see how it sounds. Okay, here we are. This is our strip here. We are set up. Compression is equal. Gain is on here. We have it on unity. Everything is flat. A little bit of reverb there. Actually, I turn all these down and this off. There is no monitor here. We can see the PA is set flat. I have that there so we don't get screaming. I have the 100 hertz rumble reduction induced to take the bottom end rumble out of that, so I get too much proximity effect. But I'm going to switch the mic on, step back a bit from the PA, and let's test. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now I can tell you right away that since this is only on like a quarter of the way up, now unity, if I put this on and I do unity and I bring this up, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to wring this PA out a little bit here. Okay, so here's the test. We're back here. I've got it pretty flat. I've wrung out the PA, so I've got this fairly loud, and you can see that there's a PA speaker like right behind my head. I'm not getting any squeal out of that, so it's got a good rejection, and this is fairly loud. I'm not really getting any distortion on the microphone. It's a little bassy for me, but I can always tailor that back, which is what I'm going to do here. I'm going to actually just tailor the back end down a little bit. I'm going to give it a little bit back end there. I'm getting a lot of proximity effect, but that's typical of every microphone. But this is actually a pretty good sounding microphone. It's fairly hot. I'll do this where I don't have to talk into the mic. It's a fairly hot microphone, so it's kind of loud, which is actually good. So it's got a good response. I can hear a lot of bass in it, a lot of top end. If you EQ this microphone correctly and you put it through a really good PA system, these are actually quite a good microphone for a beginner PA. Beginner singer, if you don't want to spend $100 for a Shure SM58, you only got a limited supply, or you need to buy like 5 of these for a PA or something like that. These are actually quite good. Now, I'm a little, I'm not too happy with the switches, because these can be, you can easily like turn this thing off on yourself if you're handling it. But that's easily accomplished with, a piece of black gaffer's tape. Put put it in the up position and then tape over it, and it won't do that in handling it. But if you're putting these in a microphone stand and you're not touching it, these are perfectly fine. For $20, this is actually quite a good sounding microphone. I'm actually quite surprised. So I'll put the link in the description there for where you can buy it. And it's a really good, nice budget microphone. Thumbs up from me. Till next time, this is Kevin Richards. Keep rocking, keep practicing. See ya.
Hey guys, it's been a long time, and for some of you, this is the first time you've ever seen this face. If you're wondering who I am, I'm Vex. I'm a multi-instrumentalist producer guy. I also score films and rarely, sometimes act in films. Do you guys know what you'd like to eat tonight? Today I'm here with my first bit of ever sponsored content. This company called Fifine reached out to me with their K6, which is actually a karaoke microphone. And they were like, hey, we're gonna send you this microphone. Would you do a review? And I said, yes. So it comes in this nice box with their logo, which is upside down for you guys. And it has a user guide, which basically says that it has an on and an off switch, and you can plug it into a speaker system, and all their information along with a 90-day warranty. So let's get on to the mic and what is in the box. So in the box you have a XLR 2/4-inch cable. Both sides are male, so you can plug it into an interface. And then you have your microphone. There it is. Of course, the XLR input, on-off switch, and then, you know, the grill. So, I know you're not supposed to do this with some microphones, but I remember doing this on the day that I actually got it. And yes, I have a slight bias because I needed a vocal mic for band practice. So I know one thing that I'm going to talk about in this video. So this is the capsule on the inside. If it can actually focus on it. There we go. The capsule on the inside. Nice little ribbon. Not a ribbon mic. Don't get confused. Nice little contrast. They could have used any color ribbon to wrap that diaphragm up, but they didn't. So we're gonna go ahead and plug it into the interface. I'm just gonna talk into it for a second, and then we're gonna go to a demo.
Okay, so now this is the microphone. Just the microphone. I decided to mute my I have an overhead mic that I normally use just to talk into, and I'm gonna turn this up just a little bit because I feel like I can probably. Okay, so you're running it at line level. Now we're running it at instrument level, and still pretty clear. The first thing I noted when I actually listened to this microphone is I ran it through an amp that doesn't have like a standard EQ, so I couldn't really tweak the way it sounds going right into the amp out of the speaker. And I noticed that it has like kind of a low end boost to it, and I guess that could be really good for broadcast. I wouldn't assume that that'd be very great for karaoke, because if it's just your vocal in a track and your vocal has like a lot of booming low end, that can get really weird and this like really wah. Is there a word for like wah? So this is the microphone directly into the interface. I decided to turn off my overhead microphone, but my overhead microphone sounds a
Little bit something like this. So for comparison's sake,
I'm right on top of this microphone.
that microphone is right above my head. And let's go ahead and jump into what the Amazon page says.
About this microphone, what it says, and I'll link to the Amazon link below. I don't have an affiliate link, so it doesn't really help me. Okay, so the Amazon's first thing out of its 4 points about this microphone are durability, dynamic microphone, rugged and reliable, It is very sturdy and can tolerate comparatively rough handling. I can see that. This microphone's actually made out of metal. In fact, the only thing that's not made out of metal is the switch for on and off. So it says for its recommended applications that it is handheld microphone, ideal for broadcast and solo singing vocals, drums, and amplified guitars. So in the description, it's already driving right past what it says in the title of this microphone, which is karaoke microphone, and saying, hey, this is much more than just a karaoke microphone. It has way more applications than the title implies. It also goes on to say that it's broadcast quality dynamic microphone, articulate, and accurate vocal reproduction that cuts through any mix. Cardioid capsule design handheld microphone helps effectively isolate your voice from other onstage sounds, ensuring plenty of gain before feedback. And honestly, that was like one of the more deciding factors of me saying yes, because I really wanted a microphone that was mine that I could bring on stage. Because if you've ever like just played shows out in the city, you just see a whole bunch of destroyed microphones and you're like, I think that's rust and I don't want Tetris in my I think that's rust and I don't want tetanus in my mouth. So I wanted a mic that I could take and not worry about like other people's germs. So without further ado, let's test this thing as a vocal mic.
Create all in a cycle of losing sleep. In this way, all relate, yet don't complain. 'Cause I'm here to make this work, even if it won't. To make this work, even if it won't. To make this work, even if it won't work. I am not going home tonight. Yeah, I'm not too far away from one more goal, the next unknown.
So what do you guys think about the microphone? I don't want to put my my heavy-weighted opinion too much into this one because they gave me the microphone for free. They're not paying me anything to say anything about the microphone. Also, YouTube doesn't pay me anymore because, you know, they changed their rules. Anyway, what do you guys think? Leave it down in the comment section below, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next one.
No, it's nice for the party, but probably not. So, just I don't recommend that, guys. I know from microphone. I know microphones from. I want to kill myself right now. I know some microphones from Fifine which is almost same value, I mean the same budget, but much better. And that one, I just can't say that sucks. It's made by metal, but that's the only plus of it. I'm serious, man. Sorry about that's the only plus of it. For the first time that I have seen from the Fifine, the worst microphone from the Fifine. I don't know, guys. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to comment and like the video, and please subscribe my channel. What the heck?
Welcome back, everybody. Clotter Entertainment. I'm Claude Tor. Today I'm going to be giving you some badass vocals through this fabulous Fifine Technology microphone, the K6 mic through Fifine, man. We're going to test this sucker out with some extreme vocals. They might not be good for most people's eyes, but I think they're good, man. So I can't wait to try this mic today. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to unbox this for you, what we got. This is a K6 Fifine Technologies mic, you know what I mean? So if you're looking for a cheap mic online, this is definitely the one you're going to want. I mean, look at this thing, the design on it's a fabulous mic all around. It looks really nice, really nifty, you know what I mean? Yay. Now what it comes with, okay, let's get rid of the box. What it comes with now is an XLR to 1/4 inch. Now that's great for your computer and everything else you want to use to your computer. If you have a mixer or anything, I recommend XLR to XLR. Always. Anyways, so what we're going to do here is I'm going to give this a quick test. Right now we're on my studio mic. I'm going to quick plug this in, and you're going to hear a difference in the studio mic from this mic, you know, just to give you a variation from the variance from the studio mic to this. All right, so this is the Fifine K6 microphone. Hopefully, I would think you would sound it's pretty damn adequate for $17, man. This will get you rocking and rolling, dude, in the free world. You know what I mean? So here, that's my vocal, just, you know, radio voice here, just showing you the difference between the studio mic and the K6 technology mic. You can also do really cool moves. I've noticed that you can do mic spins. Do that at a karaoke bar, they get really mad at you, you know, but that's okay. It's okay for people to get mad. They'll get over it. I recommend doing the mic spin when you're not intoxicated, and you can hit yourself doing that as well. Anyway, so let's get right into this. We're going to give this the serious test, the test of the Breaking Benjamins, So Cold. So we're going to I'm going to tear this place up, man, with the K6. So don't be scared to watch my vocals tear it up, bro. And sis, and all you peeps. All right, man, take it easy. What's up, everybody? This is Claude Tor, Clotter Entertainment. We're going to do a little Breaking Benjamin So Cold to test out my karaoke mic that I got for trial here from Fifine Entertainment. So this is my karaoke simulator, man. So this will be an untampered, raw audio with this mic in the karaoke version. Let's check it out. Let's see how it sounds. That's right, K6, Fifine. Clotter Entertainment. I am the great Claude Tor. Be sure to catch up on all your episodes of the great Claude Tor, Clotter Dot. The last name. Let's kick some ass right now. Crowded streets, cars cleared away, one by one. Hollow heroes separate as they're on. Your soul cold, give me your hand in mine. Wise men wonder why strong men die. Show me how it ends. It's That's alright. Let's give this another try. Show me how it ends. It's alright. Show me how defenseless you really are. Trying to destroy the empty inside. That's alright. Let's give this another try. It's alright. 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 Thank you. Peace.
Well, today I'm covering Morph by 21 Pilots, but before I do, I want to tell you about this new equipment I'm using.
This is a Fifine K6 microphone, and it was only $18 on Amazon. Take a look at that.
It's got a cardioid pattern and a nice smooth frequency. It ranges between 50 hertz and 18 kilohertz, so cuts out those unwanted lows that you don't want in your vocals and those really ear-piercing highs. And I'm really impressed with it for only $18. What you hear now is just the dry microphone, but now I'm going to apply some EQ, and you can see it's got really good potential to be a good quality microphone, especially if you do a little EQ. And I've also added a limiter and a noise gate, so you can see that the sound quality is really good for $18. So I'll put a link to that in the description so you can go check it out. And now I'm going to do a cover of Morph by 21 Pilots for you.
Stop thinking about if and when I die for it. Now I see that if and when are truly different cries for. If it's purely panic and when it's solemn sorrow. And one evades today while the other spies tomorrow. We're surrounded and we're hounded. There's no above or under or around it. For above is blind belief and under is sword deceive. And around the scientific miracle let's pick above and see. For if and when we go above, the question still remains. Are we still in love and is it possible we feel the same? And that's when going under starts to take my wonder. But until that time I try to sing this. If I keep moving then we'll know I'm off to someone else. Would they throw at me too slow? I'm off to someone else. I'm just a ghost. I'm off to someone else. Defense mechanism, no. He'll always try to stop me, that Nicholas Burbaki. He's got no friends close, but those who know him most know he goes by Nico. He told me I'm a copy. When I hear him mock me, that's almost stopped me. Well, we're surrounded and we're hounded. There's no above or a secret door. What are we here for? If not to run straight through all our tormentors. But until that time, I'll try to sing this. If I keep moving, they won't know I'm off to someone else. What they throw at me's too slow. I'm off to someone else. I'm just a ghost. I'm off to transmitting things to me. Ones and zeros, ergo the symphony. Anybody listening? Ones and zeros, count to infinity. Ones and zeros, we're surrounded and we're hounded. There's no above or under or around it. For above is blind belief, and under is sword to sleep. And around the scientific miracle is pick above and see. For if and when we go above, the question still remains. Are we still in love, and is it possible we feel the same? And that's when going under starts to take my wonder. But until that time, I'm off to someone else. I'm just a ghost. Not done. Not done. Josh done. Left and right, reeling in my thoughts, I hold on tight. I can give in the fear and let my mind cripple me, or I can fight it with these beats and poetry. I don't want to be a slave to my anxieties, so I let out these sounds inside of me. I don't want to be numb and I don't want to be gone. Gotta find a way to balance fear and apathy. And my work don't care if I'm dying or living, as long as I keep on giving and giving. They're gonna squeeze me dry.
So, you're wondering, man, should I buy this microphone? Fifine, let me see the box, I forgot the name, the K6. Well, let's talk about what was in the box, right? In the box, it came in like this. Right here was the microphone, and right here was the cable. 15 feet, 1/4 inch cable, TRS to XLR, 14 feet. The microphone is hooked up to my mixer right now, and I have pre-equalized it. Okay, condenser microphone versus dynamic. I am a microphone addict. I have been around microphones mostly all of my life, and I love dynamic microphones. Condenser microphones are great. They have better full quality. That's what they use in recording studios. But for live performances, you want to use, well, everybody uses a dynamic microphone. It's a common sense. You might ask why. Well, dynamic microphones picks up the sound right here, and it picks up less right here, like barely. You can barely hear me. But if I get closer to the microphone, you can hear me way better. But if I move away from the microphone, you might not even hear me anymore, right? So this is where these microphones shine. Dynamic microphones. So if you are a live streamer, right? You want to be live streaming, you want to be talking to your audience and whatnot. You really don't want the sound of your computer fans in the microphone. Then you might have to use, in OBS, you might have to use a filter to cut back background noise. And half of the time is going to be cutting back your own voice. So you're going to sound terrible, if you know what I mean. So this is where these microphones shine. Dynamic microphones. Now this microphone is $19.99 and it includes a 15 feet cable. Like I said, I'm going to show you right now. All right, I'm using this other microphone. It has a mono TRS cable. It's not stereo because it's just mono, right? If you're an audiophile guy like me, you all know what I'm saying. Mono versus stereo. If you don't know the difference, go ahead and look it up on YouTube. Pause this video and then come back. Also, from mono TRS, it goes to the 3-pin XLR for microphones. Now the cable, it's not made out of high quality, so eventually it's gonna break. I have a feeling. I have had this microphone so far for a whole week now, and I have been using it playing with my friends, playing PUBG. I ask them, do you like the sound of this microphone? Do you hear the difference? They hear nothing. This microphone sounds really damn good. Right now I have it equalized. I'll show you guys here in the video, but I have the high, I have it on 3/4 of the way. The medium, I have it like I haven't touched it, it's medium, and the low is the same way. So now what happens if I bring the low -15? 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. That is the sound that you get right now. It's like much more clear, I think. So I put the bass back into my voice so I sound cool, if you know what I mean. Do you see this right here? Now you do. This here is a switch. This is very important for us streamers. For us that we play with friends online, sometimes you just want to sometimes you just want to quick mute your microphone. That's it. With the button, slide it down. So one thing that I noticed with this microphone is the pop, the versus the Sennheiser. Pop, 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 pop. Let me boost up the bass on it. Pop, pop. Now, pop, 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 pop. Video evidence speaks for itself. So this is the issue that I find with this microphone. How do I fix it? Pop, pop, pop. Way better. Way better. Go ahead and put one of these, right? That's it. Problem solved. For $19. Listen. $19. A dynamic microphone that is going to improve the sound quality of your videos, your podcast, your game overlays, your live streams, whatever, right? You get a little mixer, or you might already have a mixer, because if you don't have a audio USB mixer in nowadays 2018, you are way what? You're way behind. That's what I meant to say. This was your host, Sergio TechOverclock. This microphone is great. Thumbs up to Fifine or Fifine or Fifine, however you want to call it. Thumbs up to you guys. So my message to Fifine, I would rather pay $4 more for your products if you add one of these things, right? Like so. It's better. Better. It's better. Better. Where am I going with these reviews, dude? I'll see you guys next time. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like down below. Bye-bye.
To me, the Fifine kind of has a scooped mid sound when compared to the mid-range presence of the SM58. It also sounds like it has a little more top-end presence, and because of that, I actually prefer how it captured the acoustic guitar over the SM58. Neither of these microphones are ideal for recording acoustic guitar, in my opinion, but with some EQ, you can definitely get some usable tones. Overall, I think the Fifine K6 is a decent microphone if you're just getting into home recording or podcasting. Thank you for watching.
Hey guys, I got a review of the Fifine K6 microphone in store for you. Let's see what comes in the box. So upon opening it, you got a couple pieces of paper. And then you've got your mic cable that they give to you. It's got 1/4 inch end and XLR that plugs into the microphone. The microphone right here, cased in some plastic, it's got a pretty good weight to it. It's got an on-off switch and looks like it's pretty sturdy. So a little bit about this cable. 1/4 inch is mono, so you won't have the left-right feature of a normal XLR cable. But a pro to this is that most karaoke machines that you'll end up using this kind of mic for takes the 1/4 inch plug only instead of an XLR. The K6 microphone is a cardioid microphone, which means it picks up sound from the tip and also below this ring right here. If you cup the mic like this around that ring, it's not going to sound properly whenever you try to use it. You can find this microphone on Amazon for only $20. On Amazon, you can see that this Fifine K6 microphone is a karaoke microphone. This means that you shouldn't expect the same kind of quality as an SM58 or 7B or something that is worth hundreds and hundreds of dollars, but you should still expect some baseline quality and that you should be able to understand and hear everything that somebody is singing or saying. So about a year ago, I purchased this Rockmaster PV5 microphone. Why did I bring this up? Well, it's because that's what I've been doing the vocals on for this whole video. As you can see on Amazon, it's $40.81, which is about double the price of the Fifine K6 microphone. Comparatively, the Rockmaster PV5 and the K6 microphone are both very similar. The PV5 has an on-off switch like the K6, as well as coming with an XLR cable. They're both dynamic cardioid microphones, so they don't need phantom power to run. As you can see, I've now switched to using the Fifine microphone instead of my PV5. Because I'm a bassist and not a singer, let me tell you some news instead of singing and making your ears bleed. I bought a Scarlett Focusrite 2A2 to replace my Behringer UCA 222. I'll be doing a video showing this in the near future. Personally, I prefer the Fifine K6 microphone over the Rockmaster PV5. You gotta use your ears to gauge how it sounds, whether it sounds good or bad. Overall, buying the Fifine K6 microphone is a good buy. Comes with this nifty cable, an on-off switch for when you don't want to be heard, and it's half the cost of another comparable microphone that I purchased. Last but not least, remember, good luck, have fun, be safe, and don't die.
Here. Decided to take a risk on Amazon and try a $20 mic, a Fifine K6. Let's take a look. Alright, let's take a look inside this box and see what they sent. We got a user guide and a bookmark. Business card type thing. Thing is in English. A solid packaging. Looks like an XLR at 1/4 inch. It's a pretty sleek looking microphone. Solid switch. A little on the light side compared to an SM58. Capsule. Solid windscreen, pretty sturdy construction. Let's take a look and see how this sounds. Alright, let's see how good this mic really sounds. I've put it up against a Shure SM58, nice and worn in, been used many a time. Kind of the staple of any live sound setup, anything that you want to compare it against. I think the Shure SM58 would be considered the standard. You can argue with me if you want, it's YouTube. So, not doing anything crazy here, I'm just running it into my Pro Tools rig, coming in the front of this Digimax. It's also chained into the Liquid Sapphire 56. Not running any processing, no fancy preamps or anything like that. Just going into Pro Tools, and I've got the peaks matched. So let's take a listen, see how this sounds.
I heard there was a secret chord that David played and it pleased the Lord, but you don't really care for music, do ya? I heard there was a secret chord that David played and it pleased the Lord, but you don't really care for music, do ya?
So after listening to those side by side, isolated, first observations, the Shure is certainly a bit warmer and it handles the pops a bit better, but the Fifine has a nice clarity that I would have to normally work to get out of the Shure. My only recommendation, definitely buy a windscreen to go with it to get rid of some of the clicks and the pops, but other than that, I think it's a great investment and a great way to spend 20 bucks.
Down to with a mobile recording unit here. So step one, we gotta get everything loaded up. So I got the iPad, the Scarlett, a couple mics in the back, and a battery pack.
I like that. I feel it, baby. It's in the heat of the night.
Yeah. Let's roll. Yeah. Come on. Yeah.
It's cold out here. These ones, baby.
Yeah.
How y'all feeling right now?
Yeah. We was really poor. We ain't had shit. Money on my mind. I'm trying to get rich. Mama got high. All she did was sniff. Okay. I'm looking at the skylight, feeling like shit. What? Really want more. I'm going on tour. Back against the wall. I used to sell raw.
What? Said my mama was a basshead. I'm in the concrete jungle, I'm trying to rumble. Niggas never stumble, but that money always crumble. I'm just trying to show 'em I ain't never poor. I'm like Folgers and that black coffee always gone. I'm in your bushes, I'm just lurking with them real niggas. If you want that good smoke, come over to Harlem, baby. I'm about to show you what we doing. It's always lately. I'm trying to flip a bird, trying to get the word. While it's hers, I was on the curb. I'm just trying to work while I swerve. These niggas the hurt. Yeah. Kinda cold out here. I'm losing breath. Gotta smoke another slip. Gotta get it right. Check. Product is great. The microphone, I love it. The only issues I have is it took a little longer than I expected to get it. Okay, that's about all.